Ready, folks? Just got in from work and going to run a game doing the Cologne 2.0. Ran it the first time, learning the game, and doing it a second time to gauge the results. And I'm not sure exactly, probably 11 or 12, start 11 or 12. Cologne is 4-6 with a 3.72 ERA. He ended the season with an ERA a little bit over 4 and 14 and 13. So we're kind of hanging in there. So Cologne is going to start it off. The Mets are at home at Citi Field in Flushing, Queens, and they're facing the Braves in 2015. So we're going through our time travel experience, and we're using the actual lineups for that day, and we're gonna get started. So let's get started. So the way I've been doing it lately, and it's kind of been dropping using the randomness of the dice. And Cologne, that's a 7. That's going to be in play. And then on this side, we do the randomness of the dice on the batter as well. It's Jace Peterson leading it off, followed by Maben, and then Freddie Freeman. So it's a 7 in play 58, and in play 58, and that's going to be a fly ball to left field. And on my right, I'm using iScore to keep track on a 10-inch iPad. We're using payoff pitch rules and relaxing and having a little bit of fun here. It's a tough result, and it's a 34, a tough 34. It's a strikeout from Maben. Maben down on strikes. So Cologne fools him. Freddie Freeman, that's a 5. That's a tough. And on Freeman, it's a 24. A tough 24 is a strikeout. Freeman down on strikes. 42-year-old Cologne strikes out Freeman. Alex Wood is the left-hander, so we're going to be looking at the left-hand side. You know, I have a tendency to miss certain things. So now the way I've been playing it pretty much is I bring in lefties to face lefties, and I'm really like focused. You know, that hey, this is a lefty to face a lefty. In this case, when it's a starter, it's easier because I know hey, I'm looking at the left side of your card. So that's an 8, and that's going to be an in play. An in play 71 on the left side of a tough. Oh no, did I say in play? In play 71 takes us to the out range, and that's going to be 6-3. Ground ball. At shortstop today for the Mets is Flores. Throws out Granderson. Juan Lagares. 8 is in play again, and that's going to be a 67, and in play 67 on the left side is going to be a ground ball to second base. Excuse me. Second baseman Jace Peterson throws him out, 2 away now, and it's Michael Kadire batting third. 5 patient, and it's an 18. A patient 18 is a base on balls. Kadire has a pretty good card against lefties. He batted well. Relatively speaking, he batted 273 against lefties, 254 against righties. It's Wilmer Flores batting fourth, who batted 310 against lefties, and that's a 7. That's a tough result. 90, tough 90 is a ground ball to short. Simmons flips to Peterson for the force. 6-4, and we go to the top of the second inning. So, I mean, every card is unique. That's one thing I definitely really like about, and you don't know what result it's going to be until you look, versus rolling the dice and saying, okay, this is the result, which to me is it's kind of takes away a little bit of the excitement. It's Nick Markakis off Bartolo Colon. That's a defense. I'll show you how I use the fast action cards for this. Error right field. Now I'm going to roll. It's a 30. So in an error, that could be anything a 3 or lower is going to be an error on the right fielder. So let's see what the right fielder, Granderson, I don't have it memorized. I should, but I don't. And he's an E3, so that's going to be an error on Granderson. And now we're going to see what kind of error, and we look on the chart. error. We look up here at the other card that we pulled off of. It's a 10, a 2D10 is center field, is a single and a one base error. So Markakis lines a single to center, to right center, and then Markakis muffs it, and allows Markakis to go to second on an error to right field. There you go. So Markakis with nobody out is at second base. And now it's Juan Uribe, who eventually becomes a Met in 2015. That's a 4 patient. That's a 98. A patient 98 is going to take us into the fly ball to left range. One away. There's no advance there, that's for sure. And Bartolo to AJ Pierzynski. That's a 6. That's in play. And that's a 15. And in play 15 is going to be lined, base hit, single. Runner on second, advances 1 base. According to the card, and it says it right there. So we have first and third now. Markakis is on at third. Gomes is on at second. And we roll a 3. That's a tough. And a 94. A tough 94 is a fly ball to shallow left field. In comes Mayberry. And Markakis will not challenge Mayberry's arm at that distance. Andrelton Simmons at a 5 is a tough, and that's a 23. Tough 23 is a base hit. And runner on first is going to advance. Let me see if Pierzynski's a 6. He advances automatically to third. Otherwise, I have to roll, and he is, so he does. So a run. Markakis comes in to score. And Pierzynski goes into third. So runs on first and third with 2 out. And now it's the pitcher up, Alex Wood. And on Bartolo Colon, it's a tough 56. A tough 56 is going to be, Alex Wood is a 5, is a strikeout. And that's out number 3. But the Braves pick up a run on, I guess, on a couple of hits for sure. And we go to the bottom of the second now with the Braves up 1-0. Now it's Alex Wood on the mound. Alex Wood was 7-6 with a 3.54 ERA in 20 starts. He's going to face John Mayberry, the right-hander, the right-handed batter, and that's a 6. That's a tough, a 63. Tough 63 takes us to the outrange. Ground ball, second base. Peterson, 1 away. Dilson Herrera, he's a Mets second baseman. It's an 8 in play. And that's a 22, and in play 22 is a double. So Herrera hits lefties at a 250 clip versus a 200 clip versus right-handers. So they're going to use him against lefties for sure. And that's a double. So Herrera's on at second with a double. And it's Eric Campbell. Eric Campbell, not very good against lefties, but he's playing today. And that's a wheelhouse. So wheelhouse against a lefty is going to be a 1-23. That ball is a deep and gone. And that's a 0-0. That's going to take us into the rare plays. Let's look at that. And we're not going to actually, you know what? Wheelhouse, rare play. Do a 12. Let's see what happens. With a runner on. Wild pitch, runners advance 1 base. 8 or 9 rated lead runner advances 2 bases. Dilson Herrera, is he an 8 or a 9? I don't know. Let's see what happens. He is an 8, so he's going to score. He's going to score on a wild pitch. Wow, okay. Now, that doesn't happen very often. So that's going to be a wild pitch. And, and the game's tied. That was pretty cool. All right, so Eric Campbell, still up. That's a 7, tough. A 97, a tough 97 is a fly ball to left. Next is Anthony Recker. That's a wheelhouse. And it's a 69. A 69. It's going to be wheelhouse 69. Oh, look at that. That ball's unbelievable. Anthony Recker against left-handed pitching, 1-78 is gone. No wonder he's playing in this game. That ball is a deep drive. He had 2 home runs and 20 at-bats versus lefties. It's a deep drive. Back goes Maben to the track, to the wall, looks up. It's out of here. Anthony Recker got a hold of one there, and Alex Wood wishes he had that pitch back. Big Bart is up now. Bart's up, and the Mets are up 2-1. 7, that's tough. And that's a 75. A tough 75 is a strikeout. So having a good time here. Got home from work. Had a game set up. I set it up this morning at 5 a.m. before I left. Can't spend too much time setting up before you play, right? So it's going to be Colon back on the mound at Citi Field against Jace Peterson. It's a 2-1 Mets lead here in the top of the third. And that's a 7. That's in play. In play 15. And that's a line single. Base hit for Jace Peterson. He's on at first. Not much of a base stealing threat. He's a 12 stolen base guy. Cameron Maben. That's a 4. That's a patient. And that's a 49. A patient 49 is a single. Going to look and see. It says runners advance 1 base. So first and second. And it's Freddie Freeman. Now, Freddie Freeman is a terror. Freddie Freeman, but not against lefties. He batted .219 against lefties in 2015. He batted almost .300, .298 against righties with 17 home runs. Not effective versus left-handers. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Let's see what Freeman can do here against Colon. Bart, who likes to throw strikes, it's in play. And that's a 29, an in play 29. It's going to be a single. Runner on second scores, and runners advance 1 base. It's an RBI single, and Maben's going to stop at second. So 3 consecutive hits against Colon. Nick Markakis, and that's a 10. That's a tough. A tough 24 is a strikeout. So Markakis down on strikes for out number 1. Uribe, it's a 4 patient, and it's a 47. A patient 47. It's going to be a single, and runner on second scores. Freeman's going to stop at second. And the Braves have retaken the lead thanks to Juan Uribe. AJ Pierzynski, that's a 7. That's in play. And that's a 48. An in play 48 is going to be a fly ball to left field. Out number 2. And it's Johnny Gomes. Johnny Gomes batted .208 versus righties in 2015. It's a 5. That's tough. And it's a 49. A tough 49 is a strikeout. Johnny Gomes down on strikes for out number 3. But the Braves retake the lead. They lead it 3-2 now. We go to the bottom of the third. Mets are coming to bat. Mets are going to bring up Granderson, Lagares, and Kadire. All right, it's Curtis Granderson. Granderson's 0 for 1. He grounded out his first at bat. That's a 9. I'm sorry, 7. 7 is a tough off Alex Wood. Lefty versus lefty, 59. A tough 59 is a strikeout. Lagares, a 9. That's in play. That's a 56. And in play 56. So a ground ball to third base. And that's Uribe up with it over to Freeman. 2 away. Alex Wood to Godire. That's an 8 in play, and that's a 69. A in play 69 takes us to a ball that's hit to Jace Peterson in second. Flips to Freeman, out number 3, 4-3. It's going to be Simmons, Alex Wood, and Peterson against Cologne here in the top of the 4th. It's an 11 defense. We're going to pull the card first, see what happens. It's a range pitcher. Cologne's range is a C, so that means anything up to 1 to 40 is going to be a hit. And that's an 84. That's going to be an out. And it's grounder, a comebacker back to Cologne. 1 away. One away. Andrelton Simmons down. And it's going to be Alex Wood. 5. Tough. A 47. A tough 47. It's a strikeout. Wood strikes out. And Peterson, a 7 is in play. An in play 71 is a ground ball to short. Wilmer Flores guns it to first. Out number 3. So leading off, it's going to be Flores. 3-2 Mets lead here in the bottom of the 4th. And that's a 6. That's a tough. A tough 76. Tough 76 is going to be a outrange fly ball lifted to center. Maben, he's there. Got that. John Mayberry. Mayberry's 0 for 1. He grounded out last at bat. It's a 7. It's a tough. A tough 96. And that's going to be a fly to left. Gomes, 2 away. And now it's Herrera. And it's a 6, tough. And it's a 59, a tough 59 against a lefty. Tough 59 is a strikeout. This will be Cologne against Maben, Freeman, and Markakis. And that's an 8. That's ballpark. And that's a 69. A right-handed batter. 69 right-handed batter. It's going to be in play. So we're going to have to roll a 1 to 32 for a hit. And that's going to be a 4. So 45 won't do it. It's a lined and caught by the second baseman, Herrera. So he hit it. Cameron hit it right on the nose, but just right at Herrera. So Cologne, a 12 in play. And that's a 21. And in play 21 is going to be a line drive base hit for Freddie Freeman. He's known for his line drives. So Freeman's on at first, 1 out now. Markakis, a 7. That's in play. And that's an 81. And in play 81 is going to take us to a fly ball. Lifted to center. Juan Lagares. He's there. 2 out. Uribe, Freeman on first, 2 outs, top of the 5th. And that's a 7 in play on Cologne. And that's an 86. That's not going to do it. An 86 is going to be a ground ball to short. Flores up with it across the diamond. And that's out number 3, 6-3. Eric Campbell, Anthony Recker, and Big Sexy Cologne here in the bottom of the 5th. The Braves lead it by a score of 3-2. We're replaying Cologne's 2015 season. Hope you're enjoying this. Eric Campbell against Alex Wood, excuse me. 7, that's a 17. A tough 17 is a strikeout. So Campbell down on strikes. 9, in play, Anthony Recker, 0-6. And in play 0-6 against a lefty is line base hit for Recker. Recker batted almost 70 points higher against lefties than he did righties. That's why he's in there. Cologne is going to he's going to bunt. And he's an F bunter. We're going to pull a card to see where he bunts. An F bunter is successful. He bunts it to the catcher. So it's an out. It's a sacrifice bunt. It's going to be 2-4. The second baseman covering first. And Wrecker is now at second base. Now, Wrecker is a 7 runner, so he has got pretty decent speed. So he got credit for some decent speed there. So there's 2 outs. Tying run is a second base, and it's Curtis Granderson, lefty versus lefty. And that's a 4. That's a ballpark. Let's see what happens here. In Citi Field, lefties have advantage. They moved in the fences, so it's a 1-62, and that's a 64, so it's right outside the range. It's in play. It's going to make it a little bit harder. It's a 1-32 for a hit, and that's a 43 right outside that range, so it's going to ground ball back to first. Wood throws out Granderson for out number 3. So the Mets strand the tying run at second base, and we go to the top of the 6th inning. Not a lot of games being broadcast lately. Tabletop games from the Masters. I mean, I'm a novice. 4, and that's Bartolo's patient. Bartolo doesn't walk many players. It's a 1-17 walk here. And it's a 25, and that's not going to make it into walk range, but it will make it for a single base hit for Brzezinski. And that is the 9th hit by the Braves. So that's 9 times 4. That's the average pitches per batter. 9 times 4, 36. And then you have Colon pitching 5 innings, which is 15 outs. 3 times 5, 15. So that's 60. So, 36 plus 6, he's at 96 pitches. 96 pitches for Colon. This is actually the 6th inning. And the 6th inning, you see, he becomes fatigued. So, he's a fatigued pitcher at this point. So we have to really look closely what we're going to do with Colon. So Brzezinski's on at first. We're not going to replay that. It could have been something more. I don't know what it was, and it doesn't really matter at this point. He got on base. Hadn't he got on base, I would have probably replayed it. So it's a fatigue. Colon's a fatigue pitcher. So we've got some action in the bullpen for sure. It's 3-2. He's still holding his own. And it's going to be a 7. That's a wheelhouse. Johnny Gomes, a 1-12, is out of here. It's a 34, and that's going to be a base hit single. Runners advance 2 bases. So first to third goes A.J. Brzezinski. And the Mets are going to, I'm going to actually look up and see who the pitchers the Mets used. And then after that, I'm going to make a decision on who I'm going to use based on the general situation in the game. So it's still a close game. It's only the top of the 6th inning. And the Mets in this game used Alex Torres. We have a righty batting. They used Carlos Torres, Alex Torres, Familia, and that's it. So they used 3 pitchers. So everything else from there I'd have to kind of improvise. So let's bring in the righty. Colon's given up 10 hits so far. Let's bring in the righty, Carlos Torres. Carlos Torres, and Carlos Torres, yep, he's going to take Colon's batting order spot. We don't have to do a double switch right now. I like my pitchers to go at least 2 innings. So if he were coming up in the next inning, I would definitely want to do a double switch. So Andrelton Simmons with runners on first and third. The Mets are going to bring the infield in this situation. And I'm learning these rules, so it may be a little bumpy here with the infield in. Let's see what happens. It's a 4. Carlos Torres, that's a patient, and that's a 40. A patient 40 is going to be a single. So a runner advances, runner on first, advances 2 bases, soft blooper into short, left field, and runner advances 2 bases. Brzezinski scores. So now we have first and third, nobody out. First and third, nobody out. It's the pitcher spot. Now we're gonna bunt, but we're not gonna move. It's not gonna be a squeeze. We're gonna hold the runner at third, just bunt him over to second, and that's an 8. That's tough. And he's let's see. Alex Wood is a B bunter. That's pretty good. And I roll, but I didn't really have to roll because I'm using this here. And that's a successful sacrifice. And it says it goes to the catcher. So to the catcher, successful sacrifice, 2 to 4. And that's going to move, no, the runner on third held up. The runner on second advances. So now you have second and third. Jace Peterson. You're going to have 2 out of the next 3 are going to be lefties. So what we're going to do here is we're going to bring in Alex Torres now. Alex Torres, a left-hander for the Mets. And bringing him in. And he'll probably see if he can get us through the rest of the inning. So runners on second and third, Jace Peterson, infield is in, and that's a 10. That's going to be wheelhouse. Peterson against a lefty is 1 to 9. And 11. An 11 is going to be a double. And we're going to see what that does. A double, runners advance 2 bases. Looping liner to right. Runners advance 2 bases. So that's going to be a 2-run double. 2-run double for Jace Peterson. And Atlanta is up 6 to 2 now. And Cameron Maybin, a right-hander, but next is the lefty Freeman and then Markakis, another lefty. So we're leaving Torres in there. Alex Torres, excuse me. And that's an 8. That's patient. Cameron Maybin, 59. 59 against a... It's going to be a single against a lefty. It's a single. Single, runner advances 1 base. So Peterson's going to stop at third. First and third now. First and third, and it's Freddie Freeman. And that's a 9. That's tough. A tough 41. A tough 41 against a lefty is going to be a strikeout. Freeman down on strikes. Now against Markakis, a 5. That's ballpark. And that's an 81. A ballpark 81 is an in play. So we're going to have to roll a 1 to 31. And that's a 0-1. That's going to be a liner into left center, cut off by the left fielder. It's going to go for a double. All runners are going to score. So the Braves, 8 to 2 now. They're running away with it. Nick Markakis with a 2-run double. And next is Juan Uribe. Juan Uribe. We want Torres to get out of this inning. 5, ballpark, and it doesn't seem that that's going to happen. A 27 is going to be a wheelhouse. Wheelhouse 1 to 61 is a bomb, and it's out of here, and that would give the Braves a 10 to 2 lead, and the game would pretty much be over at this point. That's a 54. That's a deep drive to center. Back goes Lagares to the track, to the wall. Looks up. It's out of here. Juan Uribe connects for a 4-bagger against Alex Torres, who kind of just is stunned by the barrage that he's faced against the Braves offense, whose bats are lit up. They are on fire. Hey there, who's that? Whoever. All right, it passed. Anyway, having a good time here. This game is out of hand. 10 to 2. Braves versus Mets. Stratomatic Delaware, brother. Wow, in time for a grand salami. No, it wasn't a grand salami. It was a 2-run shot. I don't know. Maybe I said that, but I'd like to eat an Italian sub if that's what you're talking about. Anyway, yeah. So it's 10 to 2 Braves. Alex Torres is getting, hammered. He's getting slammed. He's getting crushed here. And he better go work back. He better go back to the bullpen. So the Mets are going to have to replace him. And not only are the Mets replacing the pitcher, let's look and see who else they brought in this game. And we're going to have to bring in somebody like Hensel Robles to get us a couple of innings here, man. Wow. Okay, the Braves have scored 7 runs in the top of the 6th inning. And this is the fourth Met pitcher of the inning. It was Colon, Carlos Torres, Alex Torres. Hey, where are you? You're not in Delaware. Where are you? What do you mean back to Delaware? Include offensive sub. Yes. So A.J. Przinsky against Hansel Robles. Fourth. No. No, it's we're in the top of the sixth. All right. Robles is a 5. So on Robles is a patient, and that's going to be a 76. A patient 76 is a fly ball center field. This is my after work game, man. I just got home from work. I set it up at 5 a.m. I played a game, I set up a game, and I was like, when I get home, I'm going to play a game. I'm going to have a little relaxer and have a nice time playing a game. And that's it. That's out number 3. Wow, finally the Mets were able to get out of that inning. I thought that inning would never end, brother. 7 runs in the top of the 6th. The Braves lead it by a score of 10-2, and that's pretty much it. I mean, Colon's lost this one. On the mound for the Braves is still Alex Wood. He's pitching masterfully, and it's Lagares, a 10, patient, and a 73. Patient 73 against a lefty is a ground ball. Oh, actually, it's a line drive because I'm playing the modifier. Line drive, second base. 1 away. Wood, a 6. That's tough. A 73. A tough 73 is a ground ball, second base. Jace Peterson up with it. 2 away. So Kadire out. And now it's Wilmer Flores. He's 0 for 2. That's a 7. Tough. And that's a 21. A tough 21 is a strikeout. Wilmer Flores. 3 up, 3 down for the Metsies. Yeah, this game is going to be a tough one. It's going to be out of reach, pretty much. Hansel Robles, no longer with the Mets, but he's pitching in 2015. We're doing time travel baseball back in 2015. And it's Johnny Gomes, Hansel Robles against Johnny Gomes. 6, that's tough. Gomes, that's a 94. A tough 94 is a fly ball lifted to left, John Mayberry. 1 away. Simmons, an 8. Can't see it, but it's an 8. You can move this to the side a little bit so you can see the dice roll. And Andrelton Simmons, who is 2 for 3 today, it's a 97. A tough 97 is a fly ball to left. And that's John Mayberry. He's there. And Alex Wood is still batting. I'm not going to pull him on this game right now. Just not interested. Patient. And that's a 45. A patient 45 is going to be a ground ball to third. Eric Campbell up with it. And to Kadire for out number 3. 5-3. Go to the bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th is going to be Mayberry, Herrera, and Campbell against Alex Wood. That's an 8 in play and a 0-5. An in play 0-5 against a lefty. It's going to be a double. Double for Mayberry. So John Mayberry doubles. He's at second base in a 10-2 Braves game in the bottom of the 7th. Herrera, an 8, again in play. And that's a 55, an in play 55. It's to the out range, and that's going to be fly ball to right field for out number 1. What is that, a 9? A 9 is in play off Alex Wood. And that's going to be 21, an in-play 21 off Alex Wood off of lefties. Say 21, and that's going to be, oh, that's outside the single range. I thought that'd be a single for sure. Again, he only batted 143 versus lefties. Why he's playing today, I don't know, but we're using the actual lineups. So it's going to be a 21. A 21 is going to be a pop-up to the right side. So it's a pop-up to the right side, and that's going to be the first baseman there. So 2 outs now. Here's the pitch from Wood to Recker. Recker is 2 for 2, a home run and a single, and that's a 7. That's tough. And that's an 83. Tough 83. Oh, an 80 would have been a single, and that takes us to a ground ball to short. Simmons up with it, and that's out number 3. So the Mets are out of the inning, and we go to the top of the 8th. It's the Braves coming up. Jace Peterson. Jace Peterson's going to face Hansel Robles, who's still in there. There he is. Got to get rid of a lot of these guys here. Wait, most of these guys are Mets. Fatigue pitcher. There we go. That'll clean it up a little bit, make it easier to handle, more manageable. And Robles versus Peterson. That's a 9. That's tough. That's a 78. A tough 78 is a fly ball center field. 1 away. Cameron Maben. Maben's 2 for 4. 2 singles. That's an 8. That's tough. And that's a 91. A tough 91. And that's a ground ball to short. Wilmer Flores. Across the diamond. 2 away. And Robles pitching to Freddie Freeman. Freeman has got 2 singles. He's 2 for 4. That's a 4. It's a ballpark. A 27. That's wheelhouse. Against a righty is 1 to 43. That ball is deep drive to center field. Back goes Lagares to the track, to the wall. He looks up. That's out of here. Run number 11, and Freddie Freeman connects. And, you know, Hansel Robles wishes he had that pitch back. Nick Markakis, left-handed batter with 2 outs. It's 11-2 game in the top of the 8th. Playing this through so far. 8, tough. Markakis, 73. A tough 73 is an out. It's a fly ball to center. And it's Robles is up for the Mets. That's out number 3. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Using I score on my right, using payoff pitch for the rules. And using actual lineups to replay Cologne's 2015 season 2.0. I may do Matt Harvey just out of nostalgia and out of just longing for the day that Matt Harvey was the Dark Knight, and he was, you know, the ace of the Mets. He was the Vita Blue, the Catfish Hunter, the Max Scherzer of the Mets. He was the dominant. He was the Sandy Koufax from the right side. You know, of the Mets. Anyway, all right, so it's going to be a pinch hitter for the Mets, and in this game, the Mets used, to pinch hit, they used Daniel Muno. Daniel Muno is actually he's a switch hitter, so I use him from the extra cards that you get, the fringe players. So he's going to come in and he's going to pinch hit. Let's see, Muno. I don't know if it's Muno or Muno, but there's no little symbol on top of the N in his name. Include defensive now. All right. So here it is. It's going to be Alex Wood in the bottom of the 8th. That's a 6. That's tough against a lefty. Muno, 16. That's a strikeout. A strikeout for Muno. And it's going to be Curtis Granderson, who's 0 for 3. And that's a 5. That's patient. And that's a 49. A patient 49 against a lefty is single. That's a single for Granderson. That's only the Mets' 5th hit of the game. The Braves have 16 hits. Juan Lagares, that's a 6. That's tough. And that's an 0-6. A tough 0-6 is going to be a strikeout, so Lagares down on strikes. And Wood, wheelhouse. Wheelhouse is a 1-9 for Kadire. Oh, and that's a 96. That's not going to be anything very much. Fly ball to left. Out number 3. We go to the top of the ninth. Almost done on this. And it's going to be Juan Uribe. We have a new pitcher here. It's not going to be Robles. Robles was pulled for the pinch hitter. We are going to do a... who's coming in here? Goodell. Eric Goodell is going to come in. He's going to pitch. Eric Goodell. He's around all the time. He's just a filler. Pretty decent ERA, though, for a filler, for sure. His ERA was 2.43, 1-1 in 35 games. So Mets had decent pitching in 2015. They made it all the way to the World Series. And Goodell, I'm putting him into the order, the lineup, so he comes up in the box score as being in the game outside of the pitching. All right, so it's Juan Uribe, Goodell. It's an 8. That's tough. He's a righty here. Goodell is a righty, so it's a 63. Tough 63. Oh, just outside of 59 would have been a single. 63 takes us to a fly ball to right. Out number 1 for the Braves. Przinsky, who's 2 for 4, 2 singles. That's an 8. That's tough. A tough 56. Tough 56 takes us to the out range. It's a ground ball to short. Again, Flores. And Goodell, the pitch. It's an 11. That's a wheelhouse. Wheelhouse 1 to 12 for Gomes. And it's a 48. And that's going to be an out. That's going to be a line drive caught by Wilmer Flores at short. So it's the Johnny 11. Let me double check this. Line drive to unknown player. Oh, all right. Wait. Line drive out. Line drive to short. There we go. Okay, so the Mets are up. Last licks for the Mets. 11-2. Braves lead it. It's a non-exciting game. We're doing the replay for Cologne. It's Alex Wood is going for the complete game. Had no complete games, but we're going to have one here. Actually, we're gonna bring in somebody. We're gonna bring in somebody here. We're gonna bring in Aardsma. A pitcher named David Aardsma is gonna come in. And usually with payoff pitch, you get almost every single player. Now, I may or may not have him. I mean, when I say that, I usually jinx myself. Baseball, you say something and the opposite happens, right? So Aardsman's there, and he's a right-hander. He's coming in. He's going to finish out the game just because I looked, and to just keep it with, history, Alex Wood never had any complete games, and even though he's pitching pretty well, who has complete games anyway, really, nowadays, right? All right, so it's Wilmer Flores. Wilmer Flores is 0 for 3. Aardsma the pitch. It's an 11. It's tough, and it's an 81. A tough 81 takes to the outrange ground ball shortstop. Simmons to his left, guns it to first, 1 away. Mayberry was 1 for 3. 7. That's tough, and it's an 88. A tough 88 is going to be an out, and that's going to be a grounder again to Simmons. 2 away, and Dilson Herrera's 1 for 3 on the day. It's a 4. It's ballpark. A ballpark is a 60. A righty 60 is going to be in play. So we got to roll this again. In play is it's a 22, and that's going to be a base hit single for Herrera. So that's the Mets are alive. They are alive. 3 ballpark. That's a 75 from a righty. That's going to be in play. Eric Campbell, in play from a righty, is going to be 1 to 25, and that's an 82. The ball game is over with that ground ball to short, and Simmons flips to Peterson for the force, 6 to 4, and the Mets lose it today by a score of 11-2. The line scores are Braves 11 runs, 16 hits, no errors, 5 left on base. Mets 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, and 5 left on base. The losing pitcher is going to be Cologne. The winning pitcher is going to be Alex Wood. And Cologne his record falls to 4-7. And that's where we stand. We are in, I'm not sure, let me double check and see which start we're on. I think it's about 12 or 13, just from the top of my head, memory-wise. 13 versus Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta. This is yep. It's 13. So start number 13. Next is going to be start number 14 versus Milwaukee at Milwaukee. So that's going to be exciting. We're going to play that in a little while. Right now, we're going to just relax. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man, and hanging out for a while. It was great. You know, I haven't checked in on things here in a bit. And how are you doing, my friend? Doing well, man. Doing well. I'm always glad to see you guys and to talk to you guys and I watch you guys when you're doing stuff that you do so much variety. And right now I'm into payoff pitch, so I'm always looking for guys to do payoff pitch. If you do payoff pitch, man, I'll watch it like 3 or 4 times. You know, I'm obsessive that way. You know, because I'm doing it right now. I love all the other games, but you know, I go in and out. I'm sure you guys go through the same thing, maybe. I mean, I know you guys are more. A lot of you are more disciplined, and you do all kinds of extra little side projects and so on. But right now, I'm just doing the colognes, just testing out this and learning this game system. I really like a lot of things about it, and I feel that there's a lot of work put into this system. You know what? I'll tell you the things I like about it, and then you can, based on your knowledge, you can say, okay, I know what he's talking about. Every card is unique. That I really like that about it. I never know what's going to happen. Like not every guy has a 6 at 33. You know, or 5 out of the 9 guys have 6 at 33. So you don't know what's going to happen. You have to really look. There's a lefty righty situation that makes a difference as well. So all that is happening. You got so that is very exciting. The card quality is amazing. So I have access to all the players, or nine. Well, actually, I have access to all the players with the fringe players, but just I have access to 90% of the players just with the cards, the standard cards alone, and they're very just high quality, gorgeous cards to look at. You know, they're beautiful, high quality cards. So if somebody's going to put that much effort into creating some nice cards, I feel that I should be, I should support them. So those are two big, huge things. The system is very simple, you know, and once you get the hang of how you're going to do it and how you're going to play it, and Joe's cards are really nice. I agree. He has cards, more players than anyone. Yeah, and that's, you see, maybe somebody else doesn't mind that much, but I mind because I use the actual lineups. You know, I'm a historian that way, and I like using the actual lineups as much as possible because I like to see and pretend that I'm back at that time and reliving that time, and it takes me back into the time of life that where I was at that time and where I was living and all these experiences. So and what I missed, because obviously when you're younger you don't watch every game, you miss a lot of games. There's a lot going on in your life. You're working, you're going to school, you have family, young kids, and so you're running around. I like the pitcher batter. Yes, thank you. That is huge. That every pitch starts with the pitcher. And if you're a dominant pitcher, you're going to be throwing a lot of tough pitches. If you're not so dominant, you know what? You're going to be putting some balls right down the middle. You're going to be pitching some meatballs. Thank you for reminding me of that. That is critical and maybe ahead of the two things that I mentioned earlier. So that's the short answer to your question about what I think about payoff pitch. The reasonable, very, very, very reasonable for the quality of the cards, the number of the cards. Joe's a really nice guy. He answers you in a couple of hours. He's there for you. There's no arrogance about this. All the guys like it. You guys like it. Dave likes it. All you guys like it. And so that says something right there. Okay, if we all like it and we're willing to play it again and again and again, that says a lot. That sends a message to everybody. Doesn't mean we don't like the other systems. Doesn't mean I'm not printing out the Merino boards on cardstock right now, double-sided, back, front and back, to have those. And Apple was the game I first started with, but doesn't mean we don't like those games. It's just that this is a very cool game and it deserves some action and some representation and some coverage, if you will. So that's it, man. I ran this for 40-something minutes already. That's way too long. I like the way I like the way a lot of you guys, you guys have a much more professional setup than I do. You have mics. Dave, he records it and then he uploads it, so he cuts out pitching changes and the boring stuff. I don't do that. I ramble a lot, so maybe that gets on people's nerves. I understand. That's okay. I have fun with it, and I, if as long as I'm some part of the community, that's cool with me. So anyway, I may get a mic eventually, so my voice sounds like Frank Sinatra's. But that's it, man. I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys. Thanks for stopping by. I will check you guys out. And I do all the time. I'm always alert to the stuff that I'm into, and if you do that, I watch it multiple times, and I listen to it. I connect it in my car, and I have an hour, half hour drive. Cool, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's nice of you. I try to make it fun and have a good time, and just share my experience like you guys do. You guys do the same thing. All right, love for a hobby that's maybe a dying art. Who knows what'll happen in the future with what we do, but I'm going to try to get as much fun out of it while I'm here. And that's it. So I'm going to say goodbye to you guys, and have a nice night, and I'll see you. Please broadcast soon. All right, because there's not a lot of broadcast.